Alright, so now that we know how to play the game and who we're up against, I'm going to cover the most important part, which is how to win. When it comes to playing the tax game, there are two ways you can win. You can get your income down to zero, or you can get your tax down to zero. And to do both of those things, we use things called deductions and credits. First up is deductions. Think of deductions like a jab in boxing. They're designed to knock off little bits of your income to get it as close to zero as possible. We're really not trying to knock your taxes out with this one. All we're trying to do is chip off little bits of your income so the IRS has less income to actually tax you on. Deductions are all of your business expenses. So this is going to be everything we talked about in the bookkeeping course. I'm talking advertising, bank fees, stationery, paper, all of that stuff. Those are deductions. Credits, on the other hand, are a completely different story. Credits are your cross. They go straight for your tax liability and really try its best to knock it onto the canvas. That means that credits are way more powerful than deductions, but they're also way harder to find and way harder to actually qualify for. Credits come from things like employing certain groups of people, using special types of vehicles, stuff like that. And because credits are so difficult to find and so difficult to actually qualify for, this course is just going to focus entirely on deductions. We're going to talk about what's actually deductible, how you deduct them, and how we can stack all of these deductions to get your income as close to $0 as possible, so you owe $0 in tax. Now, quick note on this. When I say get your income down to zero, that does not mean you should have zero profits in the business. And that does not mean you should spend all of the money you make just so you pay no taxes on it. There are special aspects of the IRS tax laws that let you take deductions for things that you didn't actually spend cash on, which is how we are able to still pull in profits while not paying taxes on it. And that is what I'm going to teach you. So in summary, when we're playing the tax game, we have two ways we can win. We can get our income down to zero, or we can get our tax down to zero. You do this using deductions and credits. Deductions, aka your business expenses, get your business income as low as possible so the IRS doesn't tax you on it. Credits blast away chunks of your tax bill. These are way harder to find and way harder to qualify for, which is why in this course I'm going to focus solely on deductions. Fortunately, you already have a giant list of deductions that you are allowed to use, and that is in your bookkeeping template from the last course. Everything is already properly formatted for tax time, so this is where that bookkeeping template really comes into effect. Another quick note for you guys, there are a ton of different tax strategies that people use to get their income down to zero without actually spending money. There's depreciation, there's entity structuring, there's passive losses, there's specialized tax credits, there's all this stuff, and that is all way beyond the scope of this course. But stay tuned, there's going to be another course on the way. With all that said, in the next lesson, I'm going to dive into the most important part by far, how we actually put all this information that we've learned into practice. We'll be going over what softwares you should use, how to get started, and walking you through the step-by-step process I've used to save my clients tens of thousands of dollars on their business taxes. I will see you then.